Celica, it's really you, right?
And you're not possessed, right? That would suck.
You're safe. You have no idea how happy this makes me. Right back at you, sister. That chump Jetta's magic sent us off to who knows where.
Well, we know where. Right here.
By terrors and junk.
God, I really wish they just let May swear during this part.
We heard this weird voice kind of talking, I guess. So we followed it because, hey, why not? And that's how we ended up here.
Yeah, that was probably God.
It must have been Milla.
No, this cannot happen.
Quit having good things happen to you!
You broken, foul Miller. Duma is your brother. Would you truly betray your own kin?
I mean, he betrayed you, but that's fair game.
Your schemes end here and now. Prepare to pay for your atrocities.
I will never take responsibility for my actions.
Disgusting heretic.
I think we've established this firmly by now.
Open your eyes, Jetta. No matter how it pains you, you must see the truth. Duma's gone mad. He brings only suffering to his people now.
No, I know that. I'm all about that. That's what I like.
He told me he liked causing suffering, and who am I to argue with that?
And if suffering is the god's will, what of it? Without their strength and its foundation, Valentia cannot sustain life.
I'm pretty sure that dirt ceases to exist if God dies, so you're really shooting yourself in the foot by going through with this.
Free men and women.
No.
Foolish boy, you truly believe such heresy to be possible?
It is possible.
We're gonna heresy the hell out of this place.
Presumptuous human child.
Why do you keep saying human like it doesn't apply to you?
I mean, look at me, I'm an elf.
To stand
This ain't Suikoden. Get the hell out of here. There are no elves in Fire Emblem.
of man.
Alright, so this is the final battle. Now, as I've been saying, you can actually switch units, so the characters you took into the dungeons can be switched out if you need them to be. Though again, these are the characters who have more levels now thanks to the dungeons, so you're probably going to stick with who you brought. However, turn wheel uses do not reset. I know this from experience, because when I played this back in the day, I had like 5 more uses left because of the Berkut fight. So, yeah, I went into the final battle, pretty severely gimped. It was not a good time. Thankfully, though, I did persevere through that fight and got it without doing any undos. And by the way, yes, the turn wheel count is based on Alm, not Celica, so... Like I said, you probably want to be careful in the Duma Tower portion, but like, if you do use rewinds, it's not the end of the world. Here though, yeah, no, you could not leave the dungeon once you entered it, so from that point onward, you are very limited in turn wheel use.
So, I also made bad decisions during this final battle, but for different reasons. For the most part, this game does not require you to pick who you're taking into a battle. I know it does for dungeons, but those fights are nothing, they don't count. So I've not had any practice selecting units to take into a battle, so I brought an incredibly unbalanced team to this final battle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, the levels do kind of matter, so if you just sent in whoever to the dungeons, then that can probably be a problem. Alright, so going through the enemy list, a lot of the enemies here actually have portraits, which is neat. Most of them aren't important, though of course we do have Jetta here, who still has all his fancy abilities. And we also have the return of the Witch Sisters here, who, by now, we know that Sonia is Jetta's daughter. That's why she yelled at him back at the swamp. She doesn't have a unique voice line in the final battle, though, so if you missed that, well, too bad. But these two are Sonia's sisters who were sacrificed to Duma, so, whew, really dodged a bullet there, huh, Sonia? And here's Duma himself. Got an ocular beam, so, you know, laser eye.
I wish that middle mage was replaced with a witch so I could make a "these are my 3 girlfriends and yes, they smoke weed" joke.
Oh, and of course he's got Conjure. Oh, Tentacle, so not only can he just shoot you with his eye, he can also just punch you. Oh, and of course he has Upheaval. You know what this looks like from that one Celica map, so that's fun. Nullify ailments, not that it could cause any, and God. He's got the special skill, God. Alright, so it is time to fight.
Henshin!
Alright, I'm assuming Kamui is not a fan of this one. Alright, and let's start. So, as per Fire Emblem tradition, the characters do actually have, like, voice lines at the start, or, you know, dialogue at the start, except unlike most of the games, instead of everybody just getting it over with when, or at the start of the map, other than Alm and Celica, they will say a thing when you select them. And I'm gonna level with you, this is incredibly annoying. I had to, I think, restart twice? Not because I, like, failed or anything. I've got plenty of turn wheel uses, I'm good.
Yours isn't the world I fought to protect. I'm taking
I'll kill every last
Thanks,
one
Atlas.
of them!
But no, yeah, it's because I selected it a unit, and then, like, fucked up. Either, like, I accidentally skipped by their dialogue or something or other. Because I'm just, you know, I'm trying to play a map here. It's the final battle. I would just like to get on with doing a strategy, but no, everybody's gotta talk now. I much prefer it when the chapter starts, and the character's just like, hey, I'm gonna beat you up. I have survived for this long, I'm not going to die here.
I'll never accept a god so horrible.
Get out of here, Satan. But anyway, yeah, a lot of the characters do have unique portraits here, other than the Moguls.
Well, they all look very different by Mogul standards.
The greatest of powers is but one mistake away from utter tragedy. We know that all too well, and I refuse to stand aside and watch it happen.
Why have I been in 2 wars?
Yeah, does Paula realize that most wars don't end with one side killing a dragon?
Yeah, this is just war to her. And this one's even stronger than the first one she fought. Medius was just a guy. He was a dragon guy, and that's powerful, but, like, he was still a dragon guy.
Power is simply barbaric. Where's the joy, the love? Your perfect world is as dull as dirt.
Alright, now check this shit out, Valbar. Well, I have fricked it.
Ugh, it's almost painful to watch.
Just how hopelessly ignorant can someone be?
Mogul's just like, yeah, I got the power love too. Oh, sure, just because I'm an eye beast, you think that means I don't know how to love? Ow, my eyes!
It's always funny to me when eye creatures are supposed to be threatening when, like, a laser pointer or literally anything could completely cripple them.
I've come this far. Might as well see the damn thing through to the end, lass.
Also, these things don't have eyelashes. There's nothing keeping that shit out of their eyes.
Yeah, what kind of creatures are you even supposed to be? You've got, like, no protection.
That was an easy one.
Alright, so I want to talk about more things, but people have to talk.
Foisting your way on the world by force? You're no better than
And I hate pirates! They killed my wife!
happens. I don't take kindly to pirates.
You're just like a pirate, but bigger. You're going down, Duma.
You hear me, eyeball pirate? Man, now I'm just picturing a mogul with an eye patch. Or 6 eye patches.
They keep poking my eyes out.
Duma, O ancient benefactor, consider this an act of mercy.
Aw.
Great God is deserving of a proud and glorious end.
I do appreciate that the guy who grew up in Rigel does actually have respect for Duma. Duma was supposed to be a legitimate god.
I kind of wish you picked him first. So we get that, and then everyone else is like, fuck you, Duma, I'm gonna piss on your corpse.
You're gonna pay for what you did to Celica, buddy. You're gonna pay hard.
Fuck Duma. All my homies hate Duma.
Ahem. Except Conrad.
Thank you.
Conrad has a Facebook, it's complicated relationship with Duma.
This business of relying on gods and so forth all seems quite absurd to me.
Although Python did make the comparison to nobility. Like, you know, how the upper class sort of rule over the commoners, and, you know, now I think that's bullshit too. I'm going to stab an eyeball creature now.
I think this war made me a communist.
Come on. Who needs gods when you're a
Oh no, Delthea's a libertarian. Relying on your own strength,
This is my world.
not caring about others.
I won't allow you to endanger it.
Get back here, Delphia. We need to talk about your manners.
Now, Delthea, you're young, you've not thought about the full implications of what you're saying, but I can see you going down a dark road if you're not careful. Roads, I hate those. Oh no, we're already too late.
Merciful Milla, I carry your will within me. I will see Duma freed from his suffering.
Silk also appreciates Duma, but more from the standpoint of, yeah, no, they were siblings, he and Milla, so, you know. I will respect my god's sibling. I'm going to kill him, but I won't disrespect him.
This world belongs to Alm, to all of us.
I should add that last part.
Hope in it, but there's no room in it for you.
God.
This world belongs to Alm. Wait, no, what the therapist said. Everyone, not just Alm.
All is what I meant.
Is the ability to
I was meant to say this world belongs to all.
Is that really so bad?
I alone will decide who I choose to worship.
And that's Clive, motherfucker.
And before anyone gets all up in arms over it, he also worships me. It's a mutual worshipping thing we've got going on.
We're switches.
I don't even know if they switch. I think they're just both doming and subbing at the same time. I think we have to invent a new kink word for them.
I think you can generate infinite energy that way.
I do kind of wish you'd brought the DLC characters, because I wonder what the fuck they would say.
Oh god, yeah, right. They were too powerful, so I didn't consider them, but yeah, no, now I'm kind of curious.
I don't know what's happening!
Okay, so, initial strategy before we start to talk voice actors. I don't care about the people all the way to the left, I kind of just wanted to get a move on, so I started moving, and whoever's in the back can take care of them. They might have faces, but they're not huge deals. On the right side, moguls will be continued to be summoned until we kill at least Jeddah. They'll be continued to summoned after that, but Jeddah's our first huge priority. I should mention, however, that he is completely optional to fights. Yeah, optional. And not only that, it doesn't matter whether he lives or dies, he's not part of the ending in any capacity. He could just be standing there when you slay Duma. He doesn't add anything. He still has the same gimmick though, so like he's really hard to kill. But if you decide that's too much for me to fight, like I did when I played the game and had almost no turn wheel uses, he just doesn't affect anything, it's wild.
Just killed Duma in front of me, he's like, oh, no. Well, anyways.
Well, I guess you have a point. Alright, fair enough. I concede.
Alright, so, voice actors though. So, I know he's the final boss, but I'm going to mention him first, because I don't recognize as many of his roles, and it's not as fun. So Duma is voiced by Darren DePaul, who, again, has a lot of voice roles. Don't super know a lot of them. He seems to frequently be the Hulk for, like, Marvel video games. He was Van Damme in Xenoblade Chronicles X, and that's like one of the only games I've played on this list that I would know anything about. But he's in a lot of places. He is actually in Final Fantasy 15 as the one hat asshole dude that I've forgotten the name of because it's not in front of me. Didn't write these ones down, I'm just relying on my faulty memory. But with that being said, viewers may have noticed that I may have subtly dropped the name of Jetta's voice actor a couple times here and there, but he is voiced by Richard Epcar. Okay, so I'm going to save the two best voices for last. Look, please don't go too far down the list because there are some real bangers on here, but Richard Epcar's list is just the one that, like, out of all the voice actors in this game, has just made me go, holy shit, the most. Okay, so he's Daisuke Jigen from Lupin the Third. Okay, fair enough.
I don't know which dub that's from, because I know there's been a lot of Lupin the Third dubs.
I think he is, like, the most recent Jigen, so I know Part 2, I think, was the earliest one I have him down for. And he's kind of just been Jigen for, I can't say for sure everything afterwards, but a lot of them afterwards.
I just know that the either the original series or the second series, whichever one's the most popular, has a fucking insane English dub. But anyways, moving on.
If any of you have happened to watch Retsupre, Dr. Lem and Dr. Albert Steiner from Galarians. I guess if you're also a fan of Galarians, you might know those two characters.
No, I don't think there's anyone who is a fan of Galarians and hasn't also seen the Retsupre.
So specifically in Speed Racer X, he is the voice of Racer X. So not the Racer X everyone would know, but I just figured that was funny, so I put it there. We did not watch the English dub of this, however, he is Genji Kamogawa from Hajime no Ippo. He was the old man who owned the gym and trained Ippo. So
cool.
If we'd watched the English version, we would have heard Richard Epcar there. Alright, he is Ansem from Kingdom Hearts 2, and onwards, of course.
Oh, I fucking forgot he was Ansem.
He is many voices in Skyrim. Argent Heinkel from Bravely Default. Akuma from Street Fighter V. Giovanni in Pokemon Generations. Ace from 999, but specifically in like the bundle game, Zero Escape the Nonary games. Because I don't think the original had voice acting, did it?
Yeah, I was about to say, the one with voice acting, yes.
Yep. He is the Joker in a lot of things that they couldn't bother getting Mark Hamill for, so, you know, the less important video games.
Mark Hamill is semi-retired from the Joker now. Somebody's got to replace him.
He is now, but, like, even before he was the voice of Joker in, like, the DC versus Mortal Kombat and all that stuff. And speaking of which, he's also Raiden in Mortal Kombat. Or Raiden.
We have to call him Raiden so we don't get him confused with Raiden from Metal Gear.
Yeah, sorry, it just slipped my mind, but then I thought of the song. We all know he's not afraid because Raiden cannot die, lives on top of Thundercloud, he comes down from the sky. Yeah, I know that. So let's see. Brigadier General from Daemon X Machina, because once again, I'm one of the 10 people who played Daemon X Machina, so it's my blood pack that I had to mention it.
You're not going to mention the Digimon characters, right? Because I want to mention the Digimon.
You can do that, yeah. Though, real quick, he is Old Joseph Joestar from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. He's also many monsters from Power Rangers, especially the earlier ones, so he did a lot of those voices.
I did see that. Do you know who else has also done a lot of Power Rangers villain voice acting?
Who?
David Lodge, the voice of Geralt. Anyways, for Digimon, I wanted to mention that he voices Myotismon, who is a major villain and a vampire Digimon. But more importantly, he voices Edamon, who is just doing a fucking Elvis impersonation the entire time.
Sure.
In the original Japanese, he wants to be like an idol, like a male idol, but he can't because he's an ugly monkey-looking guy. But that wouldn't translate to English to Americans, so they just made him want to still be a pop singer, but he's impersonating Elvis instead.
Alright, is that it for Digimon voices?
Yes.
Okay, so, in terms of Fire Emblem voices that he's done other than Jeddah, he is Walhart in Fire Emblem Awakening and also in Heroes, Hardin and Oliver in Fire Emblem Heroes, and most recently, Count Burgley is from Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. The character who I never would have expected would be really good, but who was really good nonetheless. And now, the two extremely good voices that I nearly fell out of my chair for when I saw them. So speaking of Reciprate adjacent things, he apparently voiced Frankenstein's monster in The Monster of Frankenstein, and Satan Lucifer from Dracula Sovereign of the Damned.
Wait, hold on. I don't remember this Frankenstein one. Dracula Sovereign of the Damned is Where Will We Be Off To This Fine Day is from, right? I mean, it's the only, like, fucking FMV Dracula adventure game they did.
Oh no, that's not the Dracula adventure game. When I said, adjacent, I meant Chip Cheesem anime theater.
Oh god! Oh, that fucking thing.
The one where Dracula mugs a man for a burger. Sorry, that was unclear.
You said Reciprate and Dracula, so I was thinking of that fucking insane video game.
Yeah, that's my mistake.
Oh god. That anime OVA, that was an adaptation of American comic, which is what Blade is from, by the way.
Mm-hmm. God.
I wanted that OVA to go long enough so that they actually had to use Blade.
Just really, really awkward Blade.
No, Blade exactly as he's portrayed in, like, the movies. Wesley Snipes plays him in the movies, right? He'd also voice him in this OVA.
God, that would be so weird to have just this weird set of characters, and where, like, nobody's actual motivations are entirely clear, possibly even to the characters themselves, and then here's just Blade being normal.
I'm here to kill vampires. He would be everyone's favorite character because he knows what he's doing and presumably he'd be good at it.
See, the problem with that is that would solve everything too quickly.
He just shows up in the last 5 minutes of the last episode, kills everyone. Alright, plot solved.
But yes, Richard Epcar did play just the wimpiest Satan.
God, that's so weird. I also want to mention Bateau from Ghost in the Shell.
Yes, that's a voice that I noticed he does frequently. This is a reprised role, but I don't know much about Ghost in the Shell. I think we watched it at one point, and I don't remember much from that.
We saw the movie, the initial movie. We did not watch Standalone Complex, but the movie does have the Bateau's line that people love quoting or referencing of, it's just your standard issue big gun.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, we've been sitting on that fucking Richard Epcar credit this entire game.
Uh-huh.
We've been waiting to talk about Richard Epcar. And not waiting to talk about Richard Epcar.
And now we shall kill him. Okay, so, Jeddah. Like I said, he still has his gimmick from before, where he's usually immortal, But this time you can actually kill him. Before, even if you fought him in the swamp and won, he'd just be like,
I'm gonna wait in the tower, fuck you.
but here, we can actually just figure out what his whole deal is and end him. And weirdly enough, this is not the thing that made me use rewinds in this chapter. I thought it was going to be, because he's the reason I had to use rewinds when I played originally, and also why I decided to skip him because he kept stealing my rewinds. But yes, as the brave man, who we know as Man, told us before, he was just executed on the spot by magic. Jeddah is weak to every fourth fight. So, it's not every fourth attack. Basically, person attacks him, he's immortal. Second person attacks, immortal. Third, immortal. Fourth time, you can actually do damage to him. Which is why I have brought up the 2 illusory people. So, Jeddah's pretty strong, which means having to fight him 3 times before even being able to do damage would be difficult. Especially because he keeps doing this shit. He keeps summoning, and he is a bastard for it. But I'm hoping, when they clear the way, or if the way is cleared in general, that these guys will attack Jeddah. That way, I can just have some freebies against him. My other thought when I was initially planning for this fight was, hey, maybe I could bring in all 3 Pegasus sisters and just triangle attack him and have one other fight beforehand to just, remove that. But as good as the characters are, 3 Pegasus Knights is kinda cumbersome in terms of group dynamic. So I didn't want to go through with that. Especially since I didn't switch from the characters I used for the dungeons, which, it was my decision. I could have not done that if I really wanted to. But, As we shall see, it shall go fine enough without them.
In Gaiden, it was every 4th turn, right?
I think so?
Because I remember it as being every 4th turn, and I was looking for the turn number somewhere in, the HUD. Mm-hmm. And then you mentioned, oh, it's every 4th fight. Oh, yeah, that's right. How did I do this?
Yeah, good question to ask. Thankfully, I already know the answer. I didn't. Jeddah's kind of bullshit, if we're being honest. You do want him out of the way so he stops summoning, because if you go off to face Duma, you're gonna get attacked from behind a whole lot, and that's just annoying. Though, to be honest, you do get plenty of characters to fight with, which means you can actually spare a bunch to go down and kill them. Of course, the nice thing about having the moguls clear is that, once he's done, everybody can just go off to the side and not stand around in the pain water, which is how I prefer to live my life personally. I like to not be in pain water. Nope, not messing with that. But yeah, Jeddah himself will never chase you or anything, and he's got pretty limited range outside of being able to summon, so entirely possible to not kill him. It's just annoying. And if you do want to kill him, it's annoying. A real damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Anyways, presumably the reason it's every 4th fight is for superstition reasons.
Mm-hmm. For his death, of course.
Although, so I'm trying to learn German. Did you know that the German word for 4 is fear?
I feel like I've seen that at some point, yeah.
It's spelled with a V because different pronunciation rules, and which means I mispronounce it every time I see it.
Bow before Duma's eminence. Kneel before his awesome power.
But it did just... I learned that, a couple weeks ago, and it just hit me today, it's just fear. It's just the English word fear. This is just tying back into Japanese superstitions.
Damn, you would have gotten doubled.
What? How? That's some bullshit.
Shut the fuck up, Jenny. You ain't gonna complain about bullshit.
Your entire deal is being bullshit. Okay, so everything's stacked up and this all kind of sucks. And also, I just got hit by upheaval, so now I need to heal everyone all at once. So, of course, Dread Fighters, very helpful for not dying to Jeddah because they don't take much damage from magic. And now, let's figure out who we want to do the killing blow on Jeddah with. Nope, not using Ragnarok. That also seems like a bad idea. Well, I mean, we could always start with Vengeance. Go Excalibur. I'd consider somebody else briefly, but, we've already seen Atlas.
Hey, Atlas,
Yeah,
do you
no,
think you can
let's
handle
not.
this? No, absolutely
Nope.
not. Please don't ask.
I don't like the way that man is looking at me.
Anyway, Vengeance.
Naughty child.
Get fucked, idiot. You're lucky you don't have to take magic to, take HP to use magic.
I thought this was gonna be a I could kill you, but I'd rather you live and suffer moment.
Unto Duma! Ah, this cannot be! It mustn't! Lord Duma! My Lord Duma!
Do you think anytime a line like that comes up during the translation process, all the translators go, is there literally any other way we can write this? I've seen "this cannot be" thousands of times. And I just think of the line from Fooly Cooley where that same Japanese line shows up, but they translate it as, "you can't be real." I'm never gonna forget that line. Leon, you were having a rough day today.
Alright, so, finally, Jeddah went out for smokes years ago, and turned Sonia's sisters into witches, and now he has been smoked. So, with that, oh god, there's so many enemies. Y'all need to stop summoning, please. Alright, that being said though, so, now that Jeddah's out of the way and we have a bit of free time before Duma, I can finally mention the manga. So, alright, I feel like the end of the manga is a little bit rushed. Events kind of just go flying, like, Celica reaches the Sage's Hamlet, learns about, you know, all the stuff she's supposed to, sends a bit of energy to Alm so that he can kill a monster. Wow, so much more powerful. And then she immediately gets kidnapped by Jeddah, who, of course, reveals the plot, and is like, haha, Alm's gonna have to kill his dad. But Celica actually, like, starts fighting back against Jeddah in this one. In the long run, you know, Alm needs to be there, but, like, she doesn't get thrown in a dungeon, she doesn't get her soul eaten. She's just like, alright, I'm gonna square up against Jeddah now. Meanwhile, on Alm's end, the cool thing about the manga not being a video game is that it can get across the fact that Rudolph, you know, doesn't actually want to win, without just making it so that he literally doesn't attack Alm ever in a fight. They basically get to the castle, doors are open, he destroys the bridge separating Alm from the rest of his party. Also, hello, Duma.
I don't know about this line.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans! Fuck!
Sorry, I don't thirst for zombie dragons. I've already established that this is Clive only.
Such naughty, willful children. Why won't you be good and listen to Father?
Oh, he's dead.
Why don't you get hit by Lord Duma's laser? So rude.
Wait. When they say father, do they mean their father or do they mean Duma?
It could be both, it's a little ambiguous.
Because I do just like, why don't you listen to father? Oh, he's dead. Huh?
His last words were gurgle, 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 gurgle.
His last words were, Sonya was always my favorite.
No, that's definitely not true. But anyway, yeah, like, Rudolph does seem to fight against Alm, but, like, at one point he basically just, like, leaves Alm a tiny little opening, and Alm takes it and stabs him. And Alm's like, wait a second. I learned that, you know, the strongest people also have to have strong hearts, which, don't know about that, Alm, but whatever. And then, you know, we have all our final lines and whatnot. Alright, so, the intention is kind of same, but, like, kind of the same, but, like, the way, the description of kind of his whole thing works a lot better in the manga, because, like, okay, what was it? It was like, he sort of realized the gods were going mad around the same time he was rejected by Zofia.
Do you really hate Father so? Such lost, misguided children.
So, like, there was actually an element of Zofia ticked him off, so he was actually planning to retaliate from that, which, from what we know about Zofia from that manga, and also especially this game, yeah, Zofia could be kind of greedy and selfish. I think in the original game it was also supposed to be that, like, Zofia rejected, like, some, like, request for supplies or something like that, but it's really not emphasized enough in original Gaiden.
Yeah. Most things aren't emphasized at all, ever, in original Gaiden.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, like, I like the way it's laid out in the manga because it seems less like a plan and more so, okay, I'm mad at Zofia, I'm gonna fight them. However, Duma and Mila, big problems. I'm gonna have to take care of them. I'm gonna ditch my son. Mycen, you raise him to be good at fighting. And we'll kind of see how that shakes out in the future.
Like you.
Also, if I remember correctly, I don't think you could actually even get close to Falchion in the manga. I think that might have been a line, but yeah, no, like, it seems like less like a big old plan, like was kind of laid out in this game, and more just a series of events where Rudolph made some decisions, and they weren't always the best decisions, but the fact that they emphasize his retaliation against Zofia, I think works a lot better than just like, oh no, this is all a big plan. He's gonna send Alm away and eventually Alm will come back and kill him.
Yeah. I still don't think that, like, everything that happened in this game was supposed to be his plan. I still think it was a case of, like, either Alm will get strong and kill me or I'll do it myself. Not the kill me part, the rest of the part. The rest of the plan.
But anyway, one of the reasons I say that the, oh wait, real quick. Ouch. And this is where I need to start using the turn wheels. So yeah, this is why you need to be very careful about your approach. Paula's not exactly the hardiest, but losing HP was not good for her. Anyway, though, so, the reason I say it's rushed is pretty much directly after that, Alm just, like, leaps in to help Celica. I forget how he gets there, he just goes over immediately and just stabs Jeddah, and Jeddah dies.
Shit, it was just off panel. I couldn't decide between saying off panel or off camera, and I kept saying shit like off camera.
Off the Panama Canal. But yeah, no, just like, Celica's about to lose, and Jeddah's like, alright, I got this, and then Alm just comes in and stabs him, and then he dies. And then Alm and Celica just kind of drift through a void and talk for a bit, and then there's Duma. And then after that, Alm and Celica acknowledge, like, wait a minute. We're here, however, our friends are still somewhere. We have the power of friendship on our side. We've got this. And then they stab Duma. And Duma's just like, alright, you stabbed me. However, It's less about the stabbing and more about your conviction. You're not too greedy or, too much. You're not Warhawks. So, me and Mila, we're gonna peace out because we're going mad. We leave everything in your hands. So, good luck, kids. Goodbye.
And then he gives the thumbs up and he sinks into the molten steel.
So yeah, like, I do appreciate elements of the end of the manga, but I think the best pacing, even if it is kind of quick, is still the beginning of it. I still think the Celica arguments... Damn, did you really miss those guys? Did you really miss that guy?
Alright, I'm critting. Nope, I'm not. Oh, fuck, why? How? I'm God!
God,
Why can I not hit these nerds?
I almost wish Jeddah was alive to see this.
You've got this, Lord Doom. Oh, dear.
These two ghosts just run up and the fucking double boost prop shows up.
Alright, at least I can hit Atlas. God damn it! You're not even from here!
Go back to your own game.
I'm gonna upheaval you! Are none of you terrified of that? I have question marks for HP! Fuck off, pretty boy!
Everybody's just lining up, taking turns stabbing him and shooting him. He's just firing lasers in every direction, not hitting anything.
Alright, I got Tobin! Ah! God damn it!
We're just doing the fucking Dragon Ball Abridged joke where Goku keeps punching Jason in the nose.
Fucking Get Your Hands Up starts playing as everybody starts dogpiling in on Duma. Alright, so, good news is, of course, once we have everybody who can move moving, I can just heal everyone with Fortify, so let's do that. Because everybody's kind of in a rough way, and will be in a rougher way after upheaval happens. Good news is, Duma will most likely target the illusions first. If not, well fuck.
I will admit, I forgot how the question mark health bars worked. So I thought you still had a lot more to go on this boss. Thought he still had like at least 50 health or whatever.
Finally! At least I won't be mocked by these fools anymore.
Alright, so let's fortify now. Unfortunately, this boss has a gimmick, and it's a rather annoying gimmick. So we can get him to almost 50 health, but that puts Celica at a bit of a risk. However, can do some decent damage. And I believe we're almost at the threshold where the gimmick's gonna happen, right? Well, after this, most certainly.
Oh, health bars do work like that. Oh my god, why does he have so much health?
He's the final boss, he needs something. Alright, so unfortunately I didn't want to risk the Sen scale. Which sucks because this boss's gimmick, even though he's so close to dying, he's so very close. Do I not want to test this? There we go. So his gimmick, after he reaches a certain HP threshold, he can no longer be targeted by anybody without the falchion, which means he can be targeted by Alm, who has the ability Deicide, and nobody else. Now, I didn't really want to, waste Alm's turn, so I tried doing this, and yeah, it just switched to no damage. I wanted to see if I could kill him here and maybe fish for a crit a bit. Unfortunately, that won't kill him, and the 36, I can say right now, did not proc. Trust me, you'll know when you're about to kill Duma. But yeah, I definitely wanted to heal Celica at this point, because if Celica dies... Or, I undid it, but yeah. I did not want Celica to not have HP. If Celica dies, of course, that's an auto game over, which means... I want Celica to do cool things for the fight. However, I don't want to do this over again. Like I said... In the final boss, I only had to restart when I flubbed the character's lines, and I accidentally skipped them. And this is a lot to have to repeat, which means Celica doesn't really get to be cool for this last fight. I mean, she was cool earlier, but she doesn't really get to fight God.
Just how it plays out sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Like... Aiming to kill the final boss with the main character is something I usually do on my own. Not the biggest fan of when they force you to do so. Especially when they do it like this, because not only can you not attack anybody, or not only can you not attack Duma with anybody but Alm, he also heals for a decent amount of HP. So yeah, at this point, I could potentially kill him if I could have done damage to him first, but I couldn't, so...
Wow, that...
Now we're just kind of damage racing. It sucks.
That crit chance, it feels like it should have gone off by now.
Oh, absolutely. In any other circumstance, I would have done it by now. And you know what? I'll just say it. Double Lion would have killed Duma at this point. I feel like Falchion, which has better stats, I won't say it doesn't, I feel like it's definitely nerfed a bit in comparison to the Royal Sword, because Double Lion's just way better than Senscale. Senscale's fancy and, like, sure, it damages a lot in a single hit, but, like, it doesn't double and it doesn't really raise your stats in the same way. Now, the good news is, when you're about to kill Duma, there is actually dialogue for it.
It's over, Duma. Urkut, Fernand, Milla, even my father.
I don't know if I care about a single character you just mentioned, though.
Also, like, Berkut sucked before he was tainted by Duma's power. He's always been garbage.
I mean, maybe you could argue that Berkut was corrupted by the system he was born into, but, like, this isn't... The story isn't really approaching it from that angle.
And also, Zofia had the same problems.
Do not suffer any longer. Let all of our pain end here. Allow your great and weary soul the rest it deserves.
Alright, so whiffed the first shot. That's not the most impressive way to start. But of course, I got a crit. For this one, throws his shield down. Fuck this shit, I don't need defense. Get fucked. Admittedly, I do like the specialized finisher animation.
I think that might have also been an original Gaiden. Not quite as...
Oh yeah, not as fancy, but just the style of it.
Yeah, I think if you got the last hit with Alm, he had a special animation for it.
So be it.
Alright, you got me.
Fine. Guess I'll die.
His future to you, her hero. Take from us what lessons you will.
I don't know if I can learn a single thing from all of this, I'm gonna be honest, Duma.
At the end of the day, if there's one thing I want to teach you, don't be like us.
And fill her with Milla's love. Let our grave mistakes to be warnings of where not to tread as you lead her forth.
Good life lesson. Don't be gods. Don't go mad from being gods.
Yeah, like, that's a nice sentiment, but, like, none of those mistakes you made are things that Alm even has to worry about. Alm is not a dragon.
Okay, but what day of the month is it? Like 78? 84? Oh, he's there. Okay, gotcha.
So this is where you were.
Huh? Oh, hey, Celica.
You aren't going to be late to your own coronation, are you?
I was planning on it, actually.
Of course not.
I mean, I will be king. What are they gonna do?
Around sitting on your father's throne. None of it feels real.
It isn't my father's throne. This isn't Sophia any longer, Alm. It's the one kingdom of Valentia. And you're going to be its first ruler.
Celica.
Please, don't misunderstand. I don't bear him any grudge. Not now. I just think he was a very sad man.
He has my
Perhaps if I'd
pity.
been there with him, I might have helped him change.
You were a
If I have any
baby.
regrets, it's that.
I know what you mean. Neither of us got the chance to stand by our fathers. If we'd been given the opportunity to learn more about each other, maybe things would have turned out differently for us.
What, if you didn't have to do regicide eventually? Yeah, probably, but, well, no sense worrying about that.
Wonder. They've been fighting for centuries, right? Seems like a lost cause to me.
We only fought like one time, and yeah, sure, it sucked, but after that we kinda just settled.
Sorry. I didn't mean any disrespect. But they're at peace now, you know? Asleep. Together.
Yes. They'll look down over this new Valentia forever from their mountaintop graves. And the trees
Whether they like it or not.
Hey, Alm, you ever heard of trees?
say that where divine dragons
Oh, that. Never mind.
trees take root and grow.
And the trees, do you know them, Alm? Do I know of trees? Yes.
Yes. They grow for hundreds, even
This ain't custom robo. We know what trees are.
say what Valentia will look like once they've matured. Will man's endeavors continue without the grace and strength of the gods?
Boy, I hope so.
Continue on their own. We have to make it happen. We'll forge a land where we can do just that. All of us. Together.
That sounds lovely, Alm. And you're right. I know we can do it.
We can. And we will. I think Milla and Duma gave us one last gift. The strength to trust in our own abilities.
Sure.
Anyway, it's time.
I mean, they didn't get you anything else, so might as well assume they gave you something. Alright, I won't look to the sun this time. Gonna keep my eyes low.
Maybe one more glance. What's it gonna hurt? Look down, look down, look down. I can't look at the sun. It reminds me too much of an orange.
He has cleared the oranges from this room, though.
And so the long war drew to a
And so, all of Valentia rejoiced as Alm came to the first year anniversary of swearing off oranges cold turkey.
This conflict erupt. No man or woman alive can say. Only one truth is clear. War will come again when man grows
War's inevitable, fuck you.
more, and its flames will devour
Yeah, this seems great, but one day, yeah, no, man's folly will destroy itself once again.
bare of life. For whatever madness lay in the hearts of God,
You're really taking the wind out of our sails, huh, narrator?
What the fuck is this? Who is this guy?
Remember, peace is only temporary.
Is this like Slade back to narrate the ending of the game?
Okay, so, while for some reason the game goes over every single one of our main fights, yes, all of them, final thoughts on the game, go.
It's good. You probably have more coherent thoughts since you were actually playing it the whole time. I stopped after the first few episodes.
Right, so, Presentation, absolutely amazing. I feel like the style of fights works well enough for this game. I'm glad it did not catch on from Gaiden. I prefer the normal Fire Emblem style more. I just prefer chapters with larger maps, with, like, actual plot surrounding it. I feel like the end of this game does get a bit tired because not a lot happens other than your support conversations, so when those start to dry up, you're just kind of doing fights. Just a whole lot. And I think for the most part, the recontextualization for this game works pretty well. I think one of the biggest problems with Gaiden is the fact that it really doesn't emphasize the actual problems with Zofia. It's more just, dang, God provides for these guys? That sucks for some reason, right? And here it's more just, okay, no, they're actually extremely selfish and greedy, and the nobility system still exists. Like, they really accent the nobility in this one, so, like, bad things still happen in Zofia. Even though God grows most of their crops, there are still problems, and just the fact that they're not friendly with their neighbors is also a huge issue. That one was always, like, a thing in the game's backstory, but again, I don't think Gaiden really brought that up enough.
It wouldn't surprise me if this was a thing where Kaga said, like, okay, we're gonna have this, like, moral ambiguity, right? And they just said no. Because I remember, you haven't played it yet, but in later games, he tries to return to that sort of ambiguity and gray morality to greater success, but I don't know if it's as successful as he wanted.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he keeps taking cracks at it, so perhaps not. But yeah, overall, pretty strong. Yeah, I do just feel like the game loses a bit of its magic towards the end, when it is just a whole lot of fights, not as much story. But, you know, presentation's still strong all the way through. The game looks absolutely amazing. Like, after we had the remakes of Marth's games, where the art style, even in New Mystery, which was the better looking of the two, still wasn't anything amazing, the style here is just phenomenal. Can't fault it for that. Character redesigns are all fantastic.
It's like they saw people say, like, oh, this game looks like anime, so it's bad, and they cared for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so here's the part where, if you're listening to the cut commentary, well, you can't actually hear this part, because there is actually a unique credits theme. This is The Heritors of Arcadia, sung by Bonnie Gordon, who was the voice actress for Silk. The song is original to Echoes, and, if you remember earlier...
Battle Zero, never
Victory
scored.
Zero. But yeah, I remember earlier when I mentioned the Act 4 map theme, saying that was unique to Echoes. Yes, that is the same tune as this one. Is the same instrumental.
I can't believe you use Noma more than Myson.
I mean, Noma didn't wait until the final dungeon to appear, so...
Another one of the downsides of this not being available in the commentary is that I don't get to warn people to not look at the screen for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Heritors of Arcadia is the second of a line of ending credits themes that are sung by debatably the most tragic characters in the game, their viewpoints. Because Heritors of Arcadia is sung from the viewpoint of Milla, who is dying, but, you know, hoping for a better future to be built where she failed. This is probably the best characterization that Milla actually gets. Heritors of Arcadia is actually a very good song.
I don't know how you can listen to credits themes. I'm sorry, I watched enough animated movies as a child to not give a shit about the music that plays during the credits.
It's good.
That's what they play to get you out of the theater. they want you to go home. / they want to win an Oscar. Anyways, for my actual final thoughts on this game, I would say this is the top tier of Fire Emblem, but Fire Emblem changes so much from game to game that making a tier list doesn't really... It's not something I think I could do. I just know that after Fates, this more or less saved my faith in the franchise. There was a period of time where being a Fire Emblem fan was wild because they'd go from like some of the best stuff to some of the worst stuff to some of the best stuff to some of the worst stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as official American releases go, I think after Path of Radiance, it took until Echoes and Three Houses for me to say, okay, this is 2 good Fire Emblem releases in a row. And with Engage, it seems like we're up to 3.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, Jesse did go on to make Outer Haven. But yeah, like... I mean, especially from an American viewpoint, like... We had Awakening, which did follow up New Mystery, and I will still defend New Mystery. It's not that much different from Shadow Dragon, but like, they got just enough right, but like, that one never came out in America, so like... If you're not following Fanworks, what the fuck are you gonna do about it? You just went from Shadow Dragon, which was just a half-hearted remake, to Awakening, which was going to be a swan song until it wasn't.
I completely forgot Conrad's ending. Conrad might have the best ending, like, paragraph here. And it might be because they didn't have any terrible endings from original Gaiden to crib from. I also love Jenny's ending because they have... I just don't know why she does this. It's like, oh, so who's your husband? Haha. What are you talking about?
Haha, it's Est.
Before Echoes, people like assumed it was Jenny and Saber because it was just like a process of elimination situation. And then they write Jenny's last thing there very carefully to be like, it's someone none of you know. It's not a character in this game.
Also, Saber is way too old for me.
He wasn't in original Gaiden. That was a change they made for Echoes. So people probably would not have been as eager to ship them as they were in the past, but her ending shoots it down anyways.
Where the inadequacy of his magic. I mean, I thought it was more your speed.
Luthier wakes up every day cursing God that he sucks so much.
Wait, both of them are dead. God damn it. Ah!
No, I want the anime where Luthier just has like wacky Looney Tunes style antics with a bunch of bandits who are trying to fight him and he doesn't even know who they are that they're trying to kill him.
Every episode just starts with him just traveling through a forest and just a cloud of bandits not far behind, and he's just completely oblivious. I should also mention, so none of the endings are actually affected by support ranks, unlike most, more recent Fire Emblem games. This is similar to Gaiden because that didn't have supports either. It didn't have supports whatsoever. However, endings do actually change based on whether certain characters are alive or dead. If certain characters, usually the ones who are close to each other, are dead, it's a lot sadder what happens to the characters. I don't know if this is the same in Echoes. They might have changed it a little bit, but I feel like a lot of characters in Gaiden turned to drinking if their loved ones were dead.
Mm-hmm. Also, hey, we got to the endings that suck. Anyways, Lucas's ending had the word mean in it, M-I-E-N, and I had to Google that to make sure it was a real word. They didn't just fuck up the word mind really badly.
You kick me in? You kick me in like the football?
It means like a person's look or manner, especially one of a particular kind, indicating their character or mood. So yeah, good word to use. I don't know how the fuck you knew that word.
If only there's a book with words in it.
Look, if you're, like, consulting a dictionary whenever you're writing something, I feel like you fucked up.
I mean, speaking as somebody who writes, dictionaries and thesauruses are helpful tools. Unlike this heathen here. You should just look things up if you're not sure. As somebody with a dumb brain, sometimes I try to think of words and I can't.
But, like, was the word manner make the fucking ending too long? I don't know why they felt the need to bust out this word.
It was better for the situation.
I just want to say, I wish that, like, for the DLC characters, the ending epilogues just said, like, this character is not canon.
This character turned into a card at the end.
Oh, you thought Randall was the only one that could turn into a card? Emma could turn into a card, too. You'll just have to play New Mystery of the Emblem to find out what happens with Katria.
I live in America. Fuck you.
Clive's ending is normal, but it's bad in context.
Mm-hmm. So, also a thing of note, they did actually, like, majorly change one of the endings, which means they could have changed it for a certain other person. You can probably guess who it is by this point.
I mean, I've already bitched about Delphia's ending.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like, they could have made certain endings better, but then they decided not to. See, this one makes sense, though. Python just goes to guard a quiet place. Just, hey, you sleepy little village, here's Python.
Old friend. Not friends? You only had the one friend? I assume it's Forsyth. But, like, he got along well with Lucas.
I really only liked Forsyth. Clive, I'm glad I'll never see him again.
I like all members of the Deliverance equally. Grabs Forsyth by the shoulders. My favorite is you, and it's by a lot.
Just sees Lucas.
When's the last time I talked to you? It's when we discussed being ace. Oh, right. Yeah, nice.
Queer solidarity and all that.
That being said, I don't think I can relate to you on any other level.
The first phrase of this first sentence, I don't know if I understand. Intrigued by Jesse.
By Jesse's idea.
How?
Oh, Outer Heaven? Hell yeah.
What do you mean I have to change my name to Violent Hog?
Jesse just points to Kamui. You're beef.
I was trying not to reference that specific one, but also why is it so hard to come up with Metal Gear names?
Because Chip ruined it for everyone else. I can't not think of that joke.
You're silent, Capybara. Oh hey, my screen went completely blank for some reason.
Here's the one that sucks. So yeah, they could have changed this. Like, they could have changed Matilda's ending. They didn't. Like, okay, if they had made her character the type who, like, is good at fighting but doesn't want to, yeah, sure, okay. But, like, she liked fighting, though. You wrote it so that she really liked fighting.
And you did mention, you know, endings will change if characters die. If Matilda dies, Clive also dies. He dies in a fight against pirates or something. So it would have made way more sense for Clive to retire, because that makes, like, a logical explanation for why he doesn't die fighting pirates. he stops fighting altogether, and also Matilda's not going to be killed by pirates. She's Matilda.
I think the reasoning there is that he probably just, like, throws himself into battles and then just does not have the heart to survive them without Matilda, so he's just kind of suicide by pirating, as it were. Also, here's the ending they did change, which makes sense because originally Sonia's ending was, yeah, she's the sister of the other two witches and the daughter of Jeddah, so, like, that's just information. But this time it's like, okay, well, she went to search for a cure for being a witch, and now maybe she's just the new Baba, who knows? So, like, alright?
Do you want to get mad about critical thinking and reading comprehension skills, or the lack thereof? There are a lot of people who take that last sentence to mean that Sonia also lost her soul to Duma, despite Duma being dead. I've seen people be like, how did Sonia become a witch if Duma's already dead? 1. Rumor. 2. Witch has multiple meanings, you fuck.
It's ambiguous. It's still depressing, though, because, like, she never actually finds a cure for witches.
Yeah.
At best, she just goes off to live alone.
Also, all these characters going off to defend against bandits, like, could you imagine killing God and then a bandit thinks he can take you?
What are the bandits like anymore? Like, especially now that we're moving on to an era of peace. Like, there were so many bandits before because the system was bad.
We fixed the system, so now all the bandits are actually just terrible people who just want to be bandits.
They're just jackasses.
Ah!
Great jump scare.
What? Why did you do this?
Because the credits are done rolling, so we only need the top screen.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, I was just caught off guard.
Okay, but now I kind of wish I had just done it only for Gray.
I wish that, like, Gray's face was just constantly zooming towards the camera.
This pleasant instrumental playing right now just turns discordant and then into hums. She married somebody who was just really into that sort of thing.
Either that, or I think she's a gay man's beard. I saw that 199, and God, you should have had Leon fight in exactly 69 battles.
God, I wish I could have kept count of that one. I hope Tobin built his castle on Gray's dumbass.
The castle is called Gray Sucks Castle.
For the honor of Gray Sucks.
Yeah, it's spelled like Greysuchs. Yeah, it's Gray Sucks.
So anyway, where's the butterfly's ending, though? The butterfly's so prominent. What happened to the butterfly?
Also, this was the best picture we could get of May, sorry.
I mean, look, she's just doing, like, her morning stretches after getting out of bed, but, like, her hair is amazing. May and Bowie continue being just the most insufferable pairing.
Look, I like that dynamic. I don't mind it when the designated straight couple argues a lot, as long as their arguments are funny and not, like, intense.
No, enough about reincarnations, that's not going to help. We're done with gods.
Also, how do you think reincarnation works? Mila was still alive when Celica was born.
Alright, so you need to know about Mila, the Divine Dragon Mila, and the Holy Ghost Mila.
Oh god, shut up. Saint King? Who cast out... That feels like something the opposite of what a saint would do. I think if somebody killed God, we would not call him saint.
That's usually what happens when you fuck up royally as a saint. You're real bad at this. Alright, well then, that was Fire Emblem Echoes. There will, of course, be bonus episodes eventually. I might take a break and do a different LP before moving on to post-game stuff, because post-game stuff is a lot. But for now, that was Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valentia. I've been Fefner.
I've been Luca.
And we'll see you next time for whatever we do next.
It's gonna be genealogy, right? We gotta get to my favorite Fire Emblem, right?
I don't have the sound of like descending stairs right here, but just imagine them here.
I don't have the sound of me being thrown out of a window to my death.
Oh, there's defenstration.mp3.
It's good to see you, boy.